of Highland Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with
Patrick from Not My Weekend.
And we're some questions say about the new single Hungover You. So congrats on that, by the way. How are you guys feeling about the response to the single so far?
Thank you guys. I feel great. You know, a ton more people like shared it on their Instagram story than I expected, which made me feel very warm and fuzzy. I don't really know what I was expecting. Like I know people listen to our band in general, but just like the amount of people that said to go check it out, I was like, wow, that's a lot. That's a lot more than I think I'm used to. So I'm stoked. Yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
That's good. I definitely think the excitement was there. I saw a lot of people stoked when you started teasing it, and I'm glad you didn't tease it as long as Knock Me Out.
It's funny you bring that up. People can't see the obviously people can't see the analytics, but this song is the first song to have more pre-saves than Knock Me Out.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So like that's the most pre-saves our band has ever gotten for Hungover You. So it was like Knock Me Out, and then every other song I've tried to do has gotten like about half as much pre-saves, and then this one got a little bit more than Knock Me Out. So I was like, all right, hell yeah.
Hell yeah, that's wonderful.
I do think that, you know, this podcast that has started since the last time we spoke definitely has helped with the attention on your band, because I know the podcast is crushing it, and therefore and Jared's, your socials are crushing it independently. By extension, I would assume your band is getting some of that attention.
I appreciate you saying that. It had started last time we spoke. I checked our last episode, and we had just gone, like, I think we had just had a TikTok go viral for the first time.
Okay.
And I immediately got on here and started making fun of you guys. I was like, I'm passing you up.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
You have fucking blown past us at this point.
Yeah.
I looked at your podcast TikTok followers a couple nights ago. I'm like, the guy that the first time we interviewed was like in Wyoming or some shit, sitting in a lawn chair with a fucking Jonas Brothers shirt on in a garage, has a podcast with 350,000 TikTok followers.
I just wore that Jonas Brothers shirt yesterday too.
Fuck yeah.
Still true character.
That's very sweet of you to say. You know what's fun about the podcast, or what's fun about Not My Weekend shows in general? Last November when we headlined, and headline's a loose word, you know, like we were headlining, but it's like the smallest you can possibly headline.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that it's like the people that come to see Not My Weekend, who I appreciate very much. It's like maybe 25% people that saw us open for This Wildlife specifically, right? And that's lovely because their fans are like so dedicated, so punk rock, which is amazing. And then like 25% people that just like know me from something, right? Like saw me on something else, or saw a TikTok, or have been listening to Not My Weekend for a long time or something. And then it's maybe like 40% people from the podcast, people that found it from the meantime. But then a good portion of those people weren't necessarily like massive music fans or alternative music fans to begin with. Yeah. So I'll have people come up to me and say like, this is their first time going to a show. Or I've had so many people say to me like, well, like we had no idea we'd get to meet you. Like when I'm selling the merch, they're like, well, we just didn't think you'd be selling the merch, because like it's either like just the shows they go to or the shows they've been to are just like, you know, Taylor Swift or something, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, when it's just us and like 100 other people at the show, it's like, no. I'm like, me and my friends are working the whole show. We're going to talk to every single person, and then we're all going to go home. So it's been really, really fun to also like any kid at a show I meet, that's a lot of kids I meet at shows that are very young say that too. Like if you're like 16 or 17 years old, that means that you like did middle school and the beginning of high school during COVID. So like there just weren't small shows to go to. And then like, I think a lot of people go to their first show back and it's like, you know, Bring Me the Horizon or Fall Out Boy or Taylor Swift or something. Yeah. And then they come to a Not My Weekend show and there's just this like real energy of surprise that I wasn't expecting or haven't experienced, where they're like, well, we just didn't think like everyone would just like be here. Yeah. And we are, and it's so much fun. And I really covet and want to lift up for my whole life, small shows like that, because they're my favorite
Absolutely.
place to be. So
Yeah,
that's so awesome. Well, since we're on the topic of it, first full US in a couple years is coming up. Leaving in a couple weeks. I'm curious, what can the people expect, whether they've been to a Not My Weekend show before or not?
It's funny, like us and Diva Bleach have become really fast friends. Sydney moved in down the street from me.
Doesn't she have a co-write on this? The song we're talking about?
She does have a co-write on Hungover You. We did it at her boyfriend Joel's house. Joel produced the song. He's the best. We had been working on the song for like 8 hours and it was done. And then Sydney got home from work and she came in with a sandwich. And I was like, Sydney, I need a bridge. And she was like, okay. And then she just like hummed a melody. It's the bridge on this song is the first melody she hummed. She was like, yeah, you just go da 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 da. And I already had like a list of lyrics that weren't in the song yet, like in the note for the song, and they just worked perfectly. I just sang what I already had written to her melody, which was so nice because we had been writing all day, and she just came in with a fresh-minded, fresh sandwich, and just immediately had the bridge. Like the very first melody she hummed for the bridge was what made it into the song. And then I'm such a fan of her voice. Every time I'm at Joel's house, I'm like, what if Sydney was doing the harmonies on this? What if Sydney was doing this and this and this? And I like, Joel's always like, what if she doesn't want to? And I'm like, come on, let's make her do it.
Come on.
So yeah, Sydney is in the gang vocals of this song. Well, so is Joel. Sydney's in the gang vocals of this song, and she also goes bullshit, gaslit in verse 2. So yeah, she's on there. But that just to say we're such fast friends, and the two of us have a few surprises planned for the tour specifically. And so that's the main thing that's going to be different, is that we're like really like collaboratively working with one of the other bands between our two sets. And I love and admire Action Adventure so much. When their van got broken into the first time, I back when I was still in college, I sent them a message saying like how important what they were doing was to me, and how how much I really, really didn't want them to quit, because I just thought they were so cool. And I've hung out with them a couple times, but I'm just really excited to get to be in a situation where I can champion their music so directly, and also hang out with the people that listen to their music, because I feel like they have fans that are into like beatdown parts, you know what I mean? And I would love it if there were more people that wanted to beat down at a Not My show. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, since you already went into it a little bit before, if you could go a bit more in depth, that'd be awesome. Tell us more about the writing process for this track.
It's our first song. It's our first song that we've written without Jared since Shimmer Season. And it sounds so much like a song on Shimmer Season. I mean, Jared, like, I've had long conversations with Jared about this. Like, all of my songwriting sensibilities are based on the 2 years I've worked on music with Jared, and the 2 years prior to that I worked on music with Neil Angle, and then like a little bit of me just copying Fall Out Boy and Jonas Brothers from when I'm a kid, right? But it's just like so much, all of my brain, honestly, that writes songs, especially musically, are just those three people, those three things. And so we get into the room to write this song with Joel Ferber, who plays guitar in the band True North. We became very fast friends. I love going to his house. I love being in his studio. I love working on a song there. But like, I'm just injecting so much of what I know how to make a song, and plus his guitar playing, and then very happily so, it sounds a lot like a Shimmer Season track. But yeah, it was just interesting. I'm just really happy it worked out. I'm really happy I like the vocal melody and the lyrics so much. I think I was a little bit anxious to make music without Jared, because it's been so long since I've done that. The last time we put out a song that Jared contribution to, it was our album Honeymoon in 2021.
Wow. Yeah.
But the reason for that, to anyone's surprise is that Jared and I spend, like 40 to 80 hours a week together working on the podcast. And we tried to write a couple demos earlier this year for Not My Weekend. And I mean, just like, this is not a bad thing. I don't want it to seem like a bad thing at all, but we are so creatively like entwined with each other. Like exhausted's not like I was about to say exhausted, but that's not the right word because we keep doing it. But like when we already spend, when we made Shimmer Season, all we were doing was making Shimmer Season.
Yeah.
But we spend 80, at least 40, sometimes 80 hours a week, on the phone or literally with each other making our podcast. And that is deeply creative. And so by the time we're working on Not My Weekend demos at the exact same time, I felt like one or the other was starting to suffer, or both was starting to suffer, or we were just like arguing and sick of each other, which I don't want to be because we're a ha-ha podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel that heavily.
So I had a conversation with him recently, and we agreed, and it's like, all right, well then I got to make music with other people, but I was just because the podcast is too important and we have too much fun doing it. So I was just nervous to do that, but I wrote with a few other people and wrote a ton of songs by myself with just me, Nick, and Noah. But then I found such a great new partner and friend in Joel. And it was there, we've got a big Dropbox of demos that we've been working on for the past few months, but Hungover You was the first one where my bandmates, Nick and Noah, and also our manager, Nina, were like, yeah, let's put that out ASAP. That's too good. It needs to come out right away. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Right.
Well, is there any meaning behind the single title or the cover art?
So the single title, we have this joke. There's this joke that Joel and I are doing. Like every song that Joel and I have made together so far is the title of a Blink-182 song as well.
Nice.
And it's a Blink-182 song that we've never goddamn heard of, which is hard to do. So we always like write the song and then we check like track 12 on their second Matt Skiba album 9. Like, what the fuck? Blink-182 has a song called Hungover You or whatever, but
of course they do.
No, I think that I came into that writing session and I had the whole verse or I had a melody for the verse, and then he started making the instrumental, and then I had the whole loving you a spaceship, don't think I can face it. And then we didn't have a chorus. And I wrote the sick of feeling sick part, which I think is really good and cool. I always tell people, I've got this fun little thing I say about how, like, if you can come up with something deeply simple that no one has said, it's probably really good. Like, I always say that Photograph by Nickelback is such an incredible song because no one ever said, look at this photograph.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't think about it, but there's not another song that says, look at this photograph. And it's the most simple thing to say. You know what I mean? And like, I think my guitar player, Nick, thinks it's a little bit silly, but like I thought sick of feeling sick was so cool. It's just the word twice, whatever. It's just that, it means sick to be sick. It's sick of feeling sick. But I Googled it and YouTubed it for a long time. I could find this one really, really heavy metal band that said it in like 2003 on an old demo. And I was like, no one's ever said that they're just like sick of feeling sick in an alternative rock song, like a modern alternative rock song. And so then I wrote the whole chorus around this, like around ideas that are like, just like sick, hungover, hung up on something. And then Joel made the tagline, when I'm hungover you. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I just think that's really cool. It's a fun little, to be hungover, to get over someone, to not get over something. And Blink-182 obviously thought the same thing. Luckily, our songs are very different.
That's fucking great.
But yeah, a couple of the demos we have just happen to have the same titles as them. So look out for the new Not My Weekend song, All the Small Things. It's a whole...
Can't wait.
Well, I'm looking forward to the new Not My Weekend record 9, since no one knows Blink-182 has an album called 9.
Dude, I listened to it. I'm in there.
One of the true fans.
No, and then it's funny you asked. The album art was actually pretty inspired. I got our friends have been doing photo booths like crazy, and I feel like Los Angeles is fucking obsessed with photo booths.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go, there's a photo booth ready for everybody.
Mhm.
So I got this idea just because the song's called Hungover You. I thought it'd be cool to take a picture of like the scraps of a party.
Mhm.
But I wanted pictures of us in there, and I thought it'd be cute to have a photo booth. And then I thought it would be cute to have a picture of me with my old longer hair and my girlfriend, but it's like ripped up. So like there's this idea that like wasn't going well or whatever. And then there's a picture with me by myself with my new hair.
Mhm.
And we went to a photo booth at a bar down the street from us. But Noah still lives in Wyoming, where we're going to be practicing for this tour in a couple weeks. So he sent me pictures of himself in front of a white wall, and then I took my iPad into the photo booth, and I held the iPad of him standing against a white wall in the photo booth. So his pictures are a photo booth taking pictures of me holding up an iPad.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, and then I just put a bottle of tequila on my desk over there. We emptied it out so you couldn't really see it, or Jack Daniels rather.
Mhm.
And the Hungover You is supposed to look like spilled Jack Daniels from the bottle. But it's actually syrup, like maple syrup.
Look at
That my lovely girlfriend Jade very carefully like placed out in like via a spoon on my table, and then we just took a bunch of pictures, and I was like, this is fun and cool, and I don't think it looks anything like Shiver Season or Yellow or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I still think it looks fun and cool, so I just wanted I wanted something like that, and then that inspired the lyric video. So then I made a lyric video that is like 20 different versions of that exact setup.
Yeah.
Also filmed on my iPhone, where I'm just moving my table and erasing Sharpie off my desktop over and over and over again. So the whole thing, the song was really fun, but I got really inspired on the album art and lyric video, which I thought was funny.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So for this question, I want you to tell us your favorite lyric off this track and what it means to you.
I really we were talking about this on live stream the other day. I really like the whole bridge. The don't know how to say goodbye. All I do is cross your line, but don't act like you're so innocent. And then the fine if we both made mistakes. I want out of this anyway. I won't act like I'm so innocent, but I'm still feeling into the down chorus. I really like that whole thing just because like as I'm writing this song, like I recognize that I have made other people feel like hung up and sick like many times in my life. It's like I think the song is like pessimistic in nature. But like someone commented like on one of the first videos of the song, like, "Hey Pat, who hurt you?" or whatever. And it's like sure, I get that, and it's like a funny thing to comment, but like I know I've made people feel this way. I think that like relationships, if you unless the first romantic relationship of your life is perfect, eventually like people are gonna make each other feel this way, or you're gonna feel this way about somebody. So it's less about like for me, it's not as much about like, oh, I'm so sick of feeling sick about somebody specifically or something like that. But I'm like, yeah, I've felt that way a bunch of times, and I've made other people feel that way. And there's so many people that when you're growing up, you're just not great at boundaries. And then that goes way too far. And then you have to like it's very in your face how much like growing up you have to do, or the people around you have to do, So for me, but I think for me, the bridge encapsulates that the most,
Absolutely.
like really makes that point clear, which I think is cool.
So where was your headspace at while you guys are writing this track?
Oh, that we wanted a new song out for tour.
We just got to get a song out.
My headspace is that I really wanted a new song for tour, and we had written so many demos by myself, or just with just us and the bandmates, or with a couple of our other buddies in town. And there were a couple that I still really believe in and still will finish, but just that this was our first song with Joel, and just again like my friends and my team were just really, really gung ho about it right away. They were just like, this is the banger. Let's get this out. And like, that's so important to me. You know what I mean? That everyone agrees and wants to do something at the same time. So, I mean, I just was in writing zone and I just wanted to, we put out Tied Up and 2004 and Stop Rewind at the end of last year ahead of our headlining tour. And I know I want to put out a large project of new music, probably an album next year. But I didn't want to do a full US action adventure tour where I think there will be a good amount of returning people to see us with no new music. So my headspace was genuinely like writing mode, just like, let's write a song. We need a song. Come on.
Just get one out. Yeah.
Well,
yeah. And this one should be super, super quick off top of your head. I want you to describe this track for new listeners in 3 words, no more, no less.
I thought of it this time because you guys always ask this.
Yes, you're
prepped. Infectious Slam City.
Yeah.
There you go. That's fire.
Yeah, put that on a shirt, dog.
That's what I think.
Hell yeah. If that's not on a shirt at the merch table, I'm turning around and going home.
Yeah.
Please don't do that. It won't be.
Lower your expectations.
I tried.
Just make your expectations less specific, please. I came up with that this morning. The shirts have been printed for months. I implore you not to leave based on this arbitrary thing that you've come up with, and as an inspiration to an arbitrary thing that I came up with. We should live our life with more peace.
It was worth a shot. It was worth a shot. I wanted those words on my back somewhere.
Walk in, walk out.
Please
man.
don't. I'll write it on Sharpie for you.
There you go. See?
There we go.
Happy medium. Happy medium.
And for this last question, can you talk about any particularly challenging or standout moments during the creation of the track, positive or negative?
We didn't have the end of the chorus for the longest time. We had like everything else about it done and the rest of the chorus. And, I think we were most of the way through the bridge, but the song just kind of went, and that's all I can do. Bah, 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 na, na, na. And it's so funny that it seems so obvious now, but we just couldn't come up with anything. And it was Joel who was just like, what if we just say when I'm hungover you again? And we'll go like, yeah. And it's like perfect. Like that is the song, that tagline, So I think that was the most challenging just because like we were racking our brains. We were just like, what the fuck goes there? Yeah. And everything else felt so easy, such a nice flow, the verse, the instrumental, everything else was just like boom, boom, bam. This is where all this goes. And then we were just racking our brain about that tagline. So that was the most challenging part for sure.
Gotcha. Yeah. All right. Well, as I said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Nice. Please just stream Hungover You by Not My Weekend wherever you stream music. We've got an additional new piece of music coming out sooner than you would expect. So keep your eyes on our social media at Not My Weekend. And come get tickets to see us open for Action Adventure with Diva Bleach at tickets at notmyweekend.com. That tour starts October 23rd and goes through November 22nd. And it's all over the country, and it's going to be a deeply huge amount of fun. Please just get to the show. I mean, these shows they're going to be so much fun. You got to go. You got to be there.
And the 3 words Pat said will not be on a t-shirt.
Yeah. But there will be other words on the t-shirt, like not my and weekend.
Okay.
Okay. Those are good.
Okay, cool.
Good. All right. Well, thank you, It's been Pat from Not My Weekend, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.